Tell me about sort of the breakdown of some of your biggest trades that you've had with us.
My biggest trade has always been a mistake.
Right.
I say on my last trade, I think on a Friday, I just entered 4 lot size on gold. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, I'm up in profit of 1.7.
How have you been finding the markets recently? Because obviously that they've been a bit volatile.
For me, I just look at it as the market's doing what it's got to do. It's programmed to do something and it's going to do it anyway. So with my strategy, it's a time-based strategy. The setups that you see me take is literally a pattern.
Samuel, tell me what advice you could maybe give anyone that's looking to get into trading.
So I heard this quote from The Godfather. He said,
Samuel, how you doing? Thanks for coming to speak with us today. I know we've been sort of hoping for this opportunity for some time now, so really appreciate you sort of taking some time out of your day to sort of come and share your views with us. So look, I mean, sort of tell us a little bit about yourself. I'd correct me if I'm wrong. I know you've been with us now, I think from the start. Is that correct?
Yeah. From the actual beginning, since there wasn't even a Discord group.
Yeah.
I was in the Telegram, and from the proper start, and yeah.
You mean what, one of the groups that you'd sort of seen us on in Telegram that we were sort of in?
Yeah. So there was a guy called Pips and Trips.
Right.
I think he goes by the name of Lobs. I was chatting to him and then found out about you guys through Instagram as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I found out.
Okay, so how? I mean, look, just sort of talk to us about that. How have you? I mean, you're still here.
Yeah.
How have you been finding it?
So Ascendx, I've tried out many other firms, but Ascendx for me has been the top one, and literally like the quality of the spreads and everything like that has always been the best. And yeah, and I'm always sticking with Ascendx as well.
No, I appreciate that. So what? I mean, look, you sort of mentioned that we're one of the best. I mean, look, if you don't mind, sort of going into a bit more detail on that, why would you say? I mean, obviously, I know, like you said, the spreads, etc. But is there anything else that maybe from your experience that you prefer dealing with us compared to other firms that you've maybe dealt with in the past?
Yeah, so I feel like other firms, they might just look at you as just another number, but Ascendx actually looks at you as another human and has a client-based connection. So let's say someone has any personal issues or anything like that, Ascendx will always try and help the client. Yeah.
I mean, that's something we've always really sort of cared about and something we've always wanted to try and do. And I mean, look, I know over the past few months, obviously because of migration after migration and, I was trying to work on our broker, etc. We were very overwhelmed with the amount of tickets and support issues that we had. And, we've since then, we've it's been quite positive because we've doubled up on our support stuff. We've cut these tickets down. Our response rate is back to where it should be. Payouts back to, payouts within 48 hours. So we're finally back to a good place, which is nice and which is good. But it's good to hear someone like yourself who sort of stuck with us from the start to sort of now. So I mean, look, I know sort of leading on some other question, payouts. I mean, I think are you on your 4th payout with us now?
I think I'm on my 4th or 5th payout, right?
Okay, wicked. So tell us about that. I mean, how have you? What's been your largest payout with us?
So my largest payout, I think, was around 2.3 or 2.2 US dollars.
Okay.
And then I just recently got a payout today of around 1.7.
Okay, nice.
So I'm about to hit I think the 5K mark.
Yeah.
Right now.
And tell me about the platforms that you were using. Wherever you think you've had the most success.
So I was with, obviously, when you guys had MT5 with the Torex and that. The spreads were quite good, but right now I'd say C-Trader. I started using that. And I'd say C-Trader is way better than MT5.
See, a lot of people sort of say this. I think at first that, it's like the unknown. People are used to MT5, right? Yeah. And what we're finding now is people that are actually getting used to C-Trader, they're preferring it. There's a lot of people, we hear, we listen to everyone. We hear a lot of reviews, and from what we can see is that a lot of people really, once they have, that they've got used to C-Trader, they actually prefer it.
Yeah,
so
I'll tell you why. Because you see MT5, you can use it on your phone.
Yep.
C-Trader you can use on your phone, but it differs you because the interface is not as good looking as the MT5. So let's say you're on one-click trading on MT5, you can easily press buttons here. It doesn't even say, do you want to place this trade? You just enter. So that made me turn trading into gambling. But with C-Trader, when I'm on my PC, I'm sat down, I'm focused, I click with my mouse, I move my hand, and so that makes me more focused and more confident as well. And
nice.
So in that case, C-Trader actually made me more profitable.
That's good. That's really really good and really positive to hear.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, just touching on that, you know, we've currently got MT5, C Trader, DX Trade, and we've got Trade Locker launching soon. Have you tried any of the other platforms? Have you tried DX Trade yet?
I've tried DX Trade. Alex gave me a free account just to test it out. But the DX Trade, I'd say it comes close to C Trader, but it ain't as good as C Trader. And Trade Locker is up there for sure.
Yeah.
I've used Trade Locker on a different firm. I can't remember what firm the name was, but Trade Locker is kind of good, but it has some downtimes in that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So talk to me about, you know, some of your biggest, you know, obviously with your payout, some of your biggest trades. Tell me about sort of the breakdown of some of your biggest trades that you've had with us.
My biggest trade has always been a mistake.
Right.
I say, because sometimes I enter a big lot size.
Yep.
By accident, and I'm like, oh shit, let me just adjust my stop loss. And obviously there's a gambling rule of 3%, and I always do like 2.5% or 2% just in case, let's say it does hit stop loss, and I won't be and slippage does occur, but I'll be safe if it does hit the stop loss. So on my last trade, I think on a Friday, I just entered with a 4 lot size on gold. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, I'm up in profit of 1.7. I was like, oh, okay, let me just close it now. And then when I hit 1.7, I told myself, all right, listen, I've hit 1.7. My target is to always hit 2% on all across all my fundeds.
Yeah.
So once I hit over 2%, I was like to myself, listen, I'm gonna take a holiday now.
Yeah.
So I'm chilling. So
would you
trade and that's it.
would you say on that? So, you know, if you're hitting, let's say 2% on a daily basis, like that's the point at what you sort of say, right, I'm done for the day, I'll stop. Is that your thought process when trading, or when do you sort of say, you know, I've had enough for the day, or what you know, what's your risk like to that?
So actually, my 2% is not my daily target.
Right.
My daily target is 1%, but once I hit 2%,
yeah,
that I say, I'm like to myself, that's it. I'm finished. I'm deleting C Trader. I'm getting my payout, and boom. Because with scalability, let's say I'm on a 50k right now.
Yeah.
2% is what 1k.
Yep.
So with 100k, that's 2k. With 200k, that's 4k. And combining all of that together, making 2%.
Yeah.
Is quite easy. And yeah.
So you just mentioned something quite interesting. I think the last time we spoke, and I saw you actually mentioned this to me before, but you. Tell me, so once you've hit a certain amount, you delete your C Trader, you delete your platform off your phone. Is that correct? So then it stops you from trading or risking too much more. That's interesting. Tell me how you got to that in the first place.
So
I take it obviously from some bad experiences, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Like sometimes you do get greedy in the markets, and I like to play my profit.
Yeah.
So let's say I do make above 2%. I feel like it's safer to play my profit. So let's say I made 1.5. I play with my 500 just to make a bit more. But once I hit, let's say 999, even if it's $1 below 2%, I have the urge to just make that back.
Yeah.
So then that's when the gambling kicks in, and I can't do that. So
no, that's good. I mean, it's a good strategy, and it's good to, I think, sort of have something to stick to stay focused and disciplined. So that's quite, you know, I mean, would you say, I mean, just talking on, you know, touching on the discipline point, I mean, I know, I think the last time we spoke as well, you mentioned that you do, is it boxing? You box?
Yeah, boxing sometimes here and there, and yeah.
How are you, how do you take anything from that, read the sort of discipline points and sort of put that into, let's say, your trading?
Yeah, so with boxing, right, you got to show up in the gym every day. For the markets, you got to show up every day. Mechanically trade your strategy. So let's say I'm in a sparring match here.
Yeah.
I take a big shot on my chin, and then the coach is like, "Oh, listen, you got to come back next round." So I look at the next round as the next day. So if I take a loss, let's say Monday, I think to myself, I reflect to myself, and then Tuesday comes. I'm back in the charts, and I get my big shot and I win it. And that's it.
Do you know what? It's a very good way to look at it. I mean, I've always sort of, you know, with anything I've done with business and especially sort of the trading element, is that discipline's one of the biggest factors that you sort of 100%. Need to have. And I think that comes from, you know, when you do have a lot of sports, whether it's, boxing or something like that, you have to be very disciplined. So I think
100%.
taking some from that, whether even just being in the gym, being consistent in the gym, I feel like it helps a lot of your mental health.
Yeah.
It helps a lot if you've had a bad day, you go to the gym or you go, boxing. But I think, you've got that you could say that corny line from, I think it was Sylvester Stallone said it from, let's say, Rocky or something. And it's about, like, it's not how hard you hit, it's about, you keep sort of getting up every single time. And I think that's, I speak to traders on a daily basis and I'm hearing things and, this and that, and I've lost my account or I've messed it up, and I say, look, just chill, right?
Yeah.
Because the more, it's like anything, the more you put it into your head as that problem and you're stressing and you're reacting not from a good place. Does that make sense?
100%.
And sometimes, like I say it all the time with business, and me and Alex do it all the time. We discuss a situation or whatever it is, and say, right, okay, let's take a step back. Let's look at it from this point. Let's trying to be that discipline, have that discipline frame of mind with things. And
another thing about boxing, let's say I did take a loss.
Yeah,
I come in the boxing gym angry. When
exactly,
I take out my anger. If I'm sparring a guy, I'm
could be the wrong person.
Yeah, but listen, if I'm sparring a guy, just know I'm gonna get some 2 good shots in. I'm gonna win that guy. But so it's a good thing to take out your anger and stuff like that. Because many traders, they always say, "Oh, focus on the next one, but they don't actually tell you how to relieve that thing. And I heard a trader called Zaki. He said, he said he has another account just to take out his revenge trade acts.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But for me, that don't really work. So I have to go on a run. I have to do something to take my mind off the charts.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do.
I think that's good. I think that's healthy as well. And I can from an outsider point of view, I mean, look, you've having consistent patch with us from the start, so it's clearly working. So well done on that point. So you just touched on something previously, just when you sort of stated that if you are taking a loss, and obviously the steps that you'll take going into the next day, tell me a little bit more about that, because I feel like it could be quite beneficial for a lot of other traders to maybe hear this.
Cool. So let's say on Monday I took a loss, but I think it actually depends on what your strategy is. So let's say you have a strategy of just randomly entering. It's not mechanical. It's not something that you can do consistently, because you're just going to be entering here and there, not time based or nothing. But my trading strategy is based on time and price. So I'm on the charts at 3 p.m, 10 o'clock New York time. So because I have a time-based scenario and a time plan, I'm always ready for the next day. So if I lose on Monday, tomorrow I know there's going to be another 10 a.m. if I'm alive. Yeah. So I'm gonna check the charts 10 a.m. and my strategy is kind of mechanical. I'll wait for a sweeper liquidity, market structure shift, enter of the FVG, and that's it. Target a 1 to 2. And if you have a simple mechanical strategy, you can do that every day, show up to the markets every day, and not be afraid that that you have a good win rate as well by collecting back testing data and all of that.
Yeah. And so going into that sort of strategy, let's say the day after, maybe, a terrible loss, right?
Yeah.
You could be down dramatically on your account, however that's looking. Sort of tell me, mentally, how do you prepare yourself when you are, setting up for a new day going into this? Because what you just said is quite interesting, but I mean, like, how do you, coming back from that, going into it with a clear mind, what sort of steps do you take?
I always want to put myself in a situation where I'm comfortable. So a bad day for me is not a bad day. If I take a loss, it's only going to be 0.5% of my account. And with that, I can brush it off. I can just forget about it. The next day, I'll make that back 100%. If you put yourself in a situation where you're risking over 2%, around 3%, with the gambling rule, you can't even do that anyway. Yeah. You shouldn't even put yourself in that situation, because you only have 4% daily drawdown, 10% max drawdown. If you kill yourself over 3%, how you can't actually come back to it with a fresh mindset. Whereas if I lose 0.5%, it's only minor to me, so I can make it back. And
currently right now, where are you at sort of max funded? What
So I was 100k funded.
Yep. Was that all with us?
Yeah, everything with you.
Okay, yeah.
And max allocation in evaluation, so I have a 200k and 100k.
Okay.
Max allocation for me is just below 400k, because I want to be able to trade my same strategy across all my accounts. And if you hit 400k, I believe you can't trade your same strategy. So
Interesting.
that's my
So
goal.
are you only funded with us, or have you got, you funded it elsewhere, or?
Currently, I'm already funded with you guys because
Nice.
you guys are the top guys, like top dons, man.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah,
Good.
trust me, man. I ain't trying to go anywhere else apart. Yeah, but that's it.
Good. So, I mean, look, on that, I mean, it's again, I find it quite interesting. So I know you've obviously talked about, why you're with us, etc. But let's say looking at the prop space at the moment,
Yeah.
right? So, for you to say that, is that because you're worried about not getting paid out by other firms? Is it from bad experiences from other firms? Like what, sort of talk to me about that.
So, shall I say the name of the firms as well?
Listen, you don't need to say the name of the firms, but at the same time, it's just interesting to sort of see about your
Okay.
experiences. We're not here to sort of talk badly about other firms, but at the same time, it's just good to really get your experience within the market.
Yeah.
What sort of led you to this, and why, okay, I understand that you're loyal to us in the sense of the experience you've had, but I believe this could have come from something else, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. So, I was with a firm. Some guys might know they done a BOGO 50. It was a crazy, crazy deal. You buy one account for 50% and they'll give you 2.
Right.
Yeah, so with that, they were getting, everyone was buying from them, even me. I bought tons of accounts,
Yeah.
they had no max allocation as well. It was kind of weird. So I passed it, went to the payout stage, hit 1.5K on a 5K account,
Right.
which is crazy. I know Saif was there as well. Right now he's a moderator, I think, for Ascendx.
Correct. Yeah.
So I didn't get paid up from them. So after that, I was like, what do I do now? And then Ascendx launched.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out you guys from Instagram, saw you guys are based in Canary Wharf, and I was like, okay, you guys live right next to me. So if anything happens and my payout gets denied, I'm coming for your road.
With the boxing gloves, yeah.
Trust me, bro. I'm pulling up with the whole gym. But yeah, that's how I came to Ascendx.
So Samuel, tell me about sort of when you're going into a day, right? So your strategy for the day, how you're getting yourself set up, etc.
So I wake up around, trading actually kind of made me lazy. I wake up around 12, and then I wake up, brush my teeth, whatnot, eat breakfast. Sometimes I don't even eat breakfast. I hit prayer, Zuhr, at 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a Muslim prayer. That's like midday prayer. After midday prayer, I jump on the charts at 2:30. That's when market opens for indices and Nasdaq.
Mm-hmm.
I see the volatility kick in, and then I'm looking at price and just seeing what's happening. I mark out the liquidity, buy side, sell side, and then I wait for 10 a.m. to hit in New York time. Wait for a sweep of liquidity. Wait for a market structure shift, and then enter off the FVG and simple. I always target a 1 to 2 RR because I always want to be in and out of the markets. I don't want to work for the market. I want the market to work for me. So yeah, that's what I do.
So is that what you prefer, sort of trading? I mean, is there, where have you had the most success? What sort of pairs do you look at? What?
So I trade gold sometimes when I'm feeling a bit energetic, because gold moves rapid. So does the Nasdaq as well, but when I'm trading the Nasdaq, I trade more sensibly and more focused. Gold is just like enter when it like drops so down and you just think to yourself, oh, it has to come back up.
Yeah.
So that's when I enter on gold. But Nasdaq is more of a strategy-based approach. So as I said, I wait for the market structure shift, FPG, sweep of sell side or buy side liquidity, and that's it.
How have you been finding the markets recently? Because obviously they've been a bit volatile. How are you sort of preparing yourself and getting yourself set up for that, and sort of your, how are you finding it right now?
So you say that the market's been volatile, but for me, I just look at it as the market's doing what it's got to do. It's got to come to liquidity wherever or to grab it. Because I trade ICT. ICT always says the market is algorithmic. So what that means is it's programmed to do something and it's going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So with my strategy, it's a time-based strategy. The setups that you see me take is literally a pattern, but we don't call it pattern trading because that's for the retail lot, and we don't do that stuff. But so yeah, the market volatility doesn't really affect me because I've always seen my setup come into play. And if I don't see my setup, I won't take the trade, and it's simple.
So Samuel, tell me about obviously actually getting into trading in the first place, right? So from whenever you first started and sort of wanted to get into this area.
So I've actually got into trading by situation, but I'll give like a massive throwback to when I was in primary school.
Right.
So since I was a young guy, I've always had the entrepreneurial mindset. I was outside selling cookies, knocking on
Right.
doors, all of that stuff. Jaffa cakes, stealing it from my mom's cupboard, going outside. I even used one time my little sister as a marketing technique, because if they see a little girl with cookies, he's not gonna want to buy from them. So I made a couple like 20 quid, 30 quid from there and that. And the guys that
I hope you cut her in on the deal.
yeah. And the guys that wouldn't buy from me, I'll come after school, knock down ninja them, and bang their doors and all of that. But okay, so that's primary. And then secondary came. I went to Bishop Challoner. It's quite well known in London. Full of African races and that.
Right.
So over there, that school is quite entrepreneurial mindset and sport mindset, because that school well known for like sports education and all of that.
Yeah.
So in that school, everyone was like trying to be the top dog. So there was guys reselling Lucozades. I was that guy selling sweets, waffles, and all of that stuff. And there was always like a leaderboard in the rankings. You even had to ask the big guy for permission, or can I sell in this corner?
Yeah.
And then I was running my corner, innit? And then in classes and that. So I wanted to make more money. So I started reselling. And then I found a supplier from mainland China selling me shoes, Jordan 4s, Air Force 1s, you name it, anything, I got it. There was a guy in my school, he plays for Arsenal right now. So I had connections from him to the whole Arsenal team of under 21s.
Okay.
So I was there selling my shoes to them, to everyone. But then there came a point where the shoe business had to stop because I got banned. So on eBay, I was selling my Air Force 1s there. One time I sold 30 pairs in 1 hour for £85.
Wow.
I think 15 years old or 16 years old. So you do the maths, I made quite a lot of money. But eBay one time, they shot me down because I sent one guy 2 left shoes. The guy got so angry, they blocked me, removed me, reported me.
Was that a mistake, or did you mean to
No,
do
I had so many orders here. I was like thinking, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
And then one of the right shoe went to my uncle, and then I quickly swapped it. I told the guy, listen, I'm gonna refund you, I'm gonna give you shoes for free, and just stop reporting me. But the guy was so angry, he reported me. So after that, I was kind of like stuck because my eBay is gone, blocked off, and I had to find another source of income.
Yeah.
Because I was always about chasing that money. And then my boy was like to me, listen, there's something called trading. Like you can make money just on your phone, clicking buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I found out about it. With my money that I made from reselling, I was spending like some stuff on dumb shit. But when I got that money, I put it into my personal account.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's guys on TikTok, Instagram selling you dreams about, oh, listen, you can make this much amount of money in like 2 seconds or 5 seconds, 1K in 1 day. So I was like thinking to myself, okay, let me try it out. I was following signals like from when I was 16 years old, using someone else's account in someone else's name. I put 1.5K in it. I lost it in 2 days.
Right.
From that loss, I was like to myself, listen, like I don't know what to do in my life. I was in my bedroom just sleeping like 24 hours, not even coming down.
I suppose that was a big loss for you at that point.
1.5K. For me, that was everything.
Right.
For some, 1.5K for you, there might be nothing. But for me, because that was all my money built up from reselling and all of that, all my business, that was gone. So and then one time I came downstairs to my mom and dad in the living room, and I was like to them, I lost my money. My dad looked at me, and I was expecting some backlash, like some shouting or something. Yeah. My dad was like, listen, don't worry about it. It's cool. And then after that, I had to make money back. And then I started researching YouTube, ICT, all of that stuff. And then, that's how I got into trading,
How, it's quite interesting what you said about your dad. How have you found like the support, or how's it been obviously with trading and, coming into this field? Because look, I'm sure you've taken a lot of losses to get to where you are now, right? And coming into this industry from, you know, from speaking to people in the past and just knowing, you know, some people's parents at first, they want you to go into a career where you're getting a set wage, or they know what you're doing, and obviously they might be thinking you're gambling, or you're risking too much money, or you're taking too many losses. And how's that been with, let's say, your mental health, or even with like your family support? Have they supported you through it? Did they, you know, how have you sort of found that?
I never actually told my dad that I was going to get into trading, but until I made some money.
Yeah.
And then when I made like £200 from a different firm, I showed my dad the money, and he laughed at me, and he was like, okay, you ain't gonna be pulling this out every week though, or every day. So I had something to prove to my dad. And then my dad always laughed at me and said, oh, listen, you have to get a uni degree. Like, this stuff, forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff, it ain't for everyone. But I had to prove him wrong. So with the uni degrees and all of that, I always had the mindset of saying to myself, okay, listen, I'll go uni just for my dad, just to please my dad, just to get that degree. But in reality, I don't think I'll actually need it, because with the prop firms and the scalability that I can go
set on this.
I can hit 10k a month pretty easily. So my dad still laughs at me every time I get a paycheck. He goes,
still to this day.
Still to this day. When I showed him like one bag, I slapped it on the table. I was like, "Oh, look, here's the money." It was like, it's just started laughing. But then one time I found in his wallet, he had Wall Street Forex Trader London in his wallet.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, no way my dad was a trader. But I never asked him, but it has his name, his face on the Wall Street Trader.
Right.
So I don't know. He might say something to me afterwards, but I don't know. But yeah.
That's interesting. So, I mean, look, with your experience and obviously getting to this point, and, you know, from where you are now, when you're, you know, when you're going into these challenges with prop firms, right? Because obviously the challenge is a bit different to then, let's say, being funded. And, you know, are you taking, you know, how are you taking those steps when you are going through the challenges? How are you finding that?
So some people, they might say, okay, challenges, I don't care, it's fake money.
Yeah.
But when you're funded, it's actually fake money as well. So for me, I take the challenges and the fund is the exact same way, because I don't want to put myself again in a situation where I'm risking more than I need to risk. Because if I know my mechanical strategy will play out over a certain period of time, and I will be funded, guaranteed, if I stick to my strategy to a T. So yeah, that's what I always do.
Right. Ready? Thought about it?
Yeah, that's right.
Samuel, tell me what advice you could maybe give anyone that's looking to get into trading, or you know, looking to you know, sort of enter into the prop space.
So ICT right now, he's trading with his son on the side. I think his name's Caleb or something, and he's teaching him the markets. And he told his son actually not to go college, and I think college is uni compared to the UK. So he's told his son, you go follow your strategy to the T, let it play out. And I heard this quote on TikTok. Someone said, I think it's from Godfather.
Right.
So
my favourite film, just to put it out there.
So let's say you found your strategy and now you're in the markets, you're ready to trade. So you're past the demo stage and now you're actually trying to do the evals and trying to get funded. So I heard this quote from the Godfather. He said, you don't know the bus driver, but you relax on the bus. You don't know the pilot of the plane, but you still relax on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you relax in your life when you know your life's controlled by God? So I take that aspect and implement it into my trading strategy by saying, you know your profitability by backtesting and collating your data. So why not let your strategy just play out and see where it goes?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'd say to every single trader that's trying to start out.
I like that. that.
Man.
Well, look, thank you for coming on with us today. I really appreciate
you.
it. And thank you for your feedback. And yeah, we look forward to hopefully having many more payouts with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I just want to give one last shout out, though, to all the cult members. Come on, man. They're doing it up.
The cult members.
Oh,